We're moving toward younger leadership. My name is Calvin Rhodes, 51 years old, and I've been managing Royal Vista Hotel's flagship property in Miami for the past 9 years. Mason Clark, the regional director, sat across from me with that polished corporate smile that never quite touched his eyes. Standing just behind him was Trevor Sims, 28, freshly minted MBA, probably earning half of what I did. Efficiency is everything in today's climate, Mason said, sliding a folder across my polished mahogany desk. You've done a fantastic job, Calvin. But we need to evolve. I glanced at the papers, severance details. 2 weeks. Standard terms. Nothing hostile, just business arithmetic. The Champions League final was in London in 2 weeks. Our Miami hotel had been fully booked for months. Overflow guests, UEFA officials, media crews, sponsors who couldn't get London rooms. The handoff should be smooth, Mason said. Trevor here has handled high-traffic properties before. Trevor gave an eager nod. The kid probably thought managing a Marriott in Orlando made him ready for this. I'd been hosting diplomats, entertainers, and handling emergencies before he even hit undergrad, but I didn't say that. I simply asked, when do you want me gone? End of this week would be perfect. I glanced at my monitor, 3 red alerts blinking from the reservation software. The system had been glitchy for over a year, duplicating entries, dropping confirmations, and creating ghost bookings. I'd written a daily script that synced all third-party platforms with our database at 6 a.m. Without it, the system would unravel. I'll need to walk Trevor through the operations, I said. Mason dismissed it with a wave. He'll adapt. Young guys are naturals with tech. And that's when I realized they were about to learn a very expensive lesson. For the next 3 days, I cleared my office, handed over access cards, and watched Trevor scribble down notes on guest preferences and vendor schedules. He asked about everything except the reservation fix. On my last day, I sat in my car for 20 minutes, watching the team bustle through the lobby windows. I'd led them through hurricanes, recessions, and restructures. Now they were Trevor's crew. I turned the key and drove away. What no one knew was my custom sync script would stop running in 72 hours. The system would revert to its factory settings. All the daily corrections would vanish. Champions League guests? Their bookings wouldn't stick. But that wasn't my concern anymore. I joined Royal Vista Hotels 12 years ago as an assistant manager in Atlanta. Worked my way through Richmond, then Nashville, until I landed the Miami crown jewel. This wasn't just work, it was my world. My wife Patricia had died 4 years earlier from cancer. The hotel became my focus, 60-hour weeks, holidays on call, emergencies in the middle of the night. Under my management, we'd hosted 3 presidents, numerous celebrity weddings, and major corporate conferences. Guest satisfaction ranked consistently in the top 5%. Revenue had jumped 37% on my watch. I knew every guest's favorite drink, every employee's personal challenges, every supplier's timing. Corporate had replaced our reservation system 18 months ago, and it never integrated properly with Expedia, Hotels.com, or even our own site. Double bookings, missing confirmations, and empty rooms shown as sold out. I'd flagged it to Mason several times. We don't have budget for a new system, he'd say. So I taught myself enough coding to create a patch, something to reconcile records and alert us to conflicts. It wasn't pretty, but it worked. From the outside, it looked stable because I was behind the curtain, making it stable. Elena, my assistant manager, had been uneasy. Trevor seems decent, but he's clueless about how complicated this place is. I gave her a reassuring smile. He'll adapt. I didn't believe it. Mason had done this before, build up a property with seasoned staff, then swap them for cheaper managers once the hotel was running. I saw it happen in Tampa, Jacksonville, Orlando. But those sites had real systems in place, proper staffing, and manageable guest loads. Miami? We were operating at double capacity and only functioning because of the manual corrections I made daily. At my final team meeting, I gave them my personal number. If something urgent comes up, don't hesitate. Elena hugged me at the door. This place won't run the same without you. I'd spent years building direct relationships with tour agencies and corporate partners. They didn't call Royal Vista, they called me. Trevor was going to learn that. The first call came 5 days after I left. It was Elena. Calvin, sorry to bother you, but we've got a problem. I was in my kitchen, drinking my second cup of coffee, enjoying my first full week of sleeping past 7 a.m. in nearly a decade. What kind of problem? I asked. There's a conflict. The system shows 43 VIP suites booked for the same dates. We only have 31. Have you tried a manual sync? Trevor didn't know what I meant. Said a tech team from corporate will look into it next week. Next week was too late. Guests would start arriving on Friday. Elena, you'll have to manually cross-check every reservation, confirmation codes, room assignments, everything. Trevor said I was overreacting. I hung up and stared out the window. I could go fix it. Or I could let them see what the place looked like without me. The next call came Thursday. This time, it was Trevor. Hi, Calvin. Elena said you might know a bit about our reservation platform. We're having a few minor inconsistencies. Define minor, I said. Well, some of the Champions League guests appear to be double booked. Not a huge deal. We'll move them to similar rooms. How many? Maybe 60 or 70. He had no clue. Trevor, the system's inventory is wrong. It's been broken for over a year. I fixed it manually every morning. Well, corporate should have a record of that. They don't. I built the fix on my own time. Corporate never knew. Silence! So, how do I fix it? Manually. Go through every single booking. Verify it against the third-party sites. It'll take about 40 hours if you know what you're doing. 40 hours? Guests start arriving tomorrow. I sat in silence. I could have helped, could have saved the weekend. But I wasn't their employee anymore. I'm sorry, Trevor. I can't help you. Click. Phone off. Friday at 11 a.m., my doorbell rang. I was organizing tools in the garage. It was Mason, looking rumpled and sleep-deprived. Calvin, we need to talk. About? You know what? The hotel's falling apart. VIPs start arriving in 3 hours and we're out of rooms. Sounds like a leadership issue. His face tightened. Don't play dumb. Elena says you knew about system flaws and never documented them. I told you for 18 months. You said to work with what we had. You should have recorded your patches. This is sabotage. I nearly laughed. No, Mason. Sabotage would have been charging you for the code. I gave it to you for free. You replaced me with someone who doesn't understand the business. This is just math catching up. Fix it. I'll rehire you. Temporary contract. Full pay. I leaned against the frame. He was doing mental math, calculating the cost of lost partnerships, angry sponsors, and legal threats. His Champions League deal was collapsing. No thanks. He stepped forward. Calvin, be fair. The staff guessed they don't deserve this. You should have thought of that before you decided I was too expensive. I started to shut the door. He caught it. I'll report you. Tell corporate you withheld mission-critical data. My severance includes mutual non-disparagement. You accuse me of anything, I'll explain how long you've known about the failures. He let go. You want to ruin me. I don't want anything. I just want peace. I closed the door. I watched him linger on the porch, then walk to his car. 20 minutes later, my phone lit up with calls. Unknown numbers. Corporate HQ, VIP guests, furious sponsors. I let it ring. By 2 p.m., I checked one voicemail. Heavy accent, probably UEFA's coordinator, frantic about legal liability in rooms. I deleted it. At 4 p.m., Elena called. Calvin, it's worse than we thought. The lobby is packed with guests holding valid confirmations for rooms that don't exist. Trevor's locked himself in the office. Mason's yelling at everyone. Guests are threatening lawsuits. How many affected? Over 200. Corporate partners, UEFA brass, international media. Some flew here just for Champions League. I heard chaos in the background, shouting in different languages. What's Trevor doing? He tried to fix it manually, ended up canceling some guests already checked in. Now people who've been here 3 days are being told they don't have rooms. The kid had panicked. Started clicking buttons. A classic mistake. Elena, I said softly. I told them this would happen. I'm sorry you're caught in the middle of this. Could you just come in today? The team trusts you. Maybe you could help steady things. I stared out the window at the palm trees dancing in the soft afternoon wind. For nearly a decade, every Friday had followed the same rhythm, preparing for the weekend rush, double-checking VIP arrivals, confirming custom requests. Now, I watched birds skim across the sky and wondered what to cook for dinner. I can't do that, Elena. Why not? Because the second I step through those doors, Mason will say it's on me to fix everything. I'll be stuck working weekends again, fielding emergency calls, covering for broken processes, and when the next round of cuts comes, I'll be right back where I started. So you're just going to let it all fall apart? I'm not letting anything fall apart. I just stopped being the one who runs in to save what others broke. Saturday morning, I woke up to 17 missed calls and 43 text messages. I poured coffee and started reading them one by one. Elena, Calvin, please call me. It's urgent. Unknown number. Gerald Hoffman, UEFA Events Management. Call immediately. Mason, answer your phone. Trevor, please, man. We need you. And finally, Julia, Patricia's sister from Tampa. Saw the news about your old hotel. What a mess. Hope you're okay. News? I opened my laptop and searched. Royal Vista Miami Champions League. The first hit was from the Miami Herald. VIP hotel breakdown leaves Champions League guests stranded. Under the headline was a photo of the lobby jammed with irritated guests gripping suitcases. The article didn't hold back. More than 200 VIPs, including UEFA executives, major sponsors, and global media, were left without rooms Friday night at Royal Vista's flagship Miami hotel. The property, serving as a secondary site for the London Champions League final, reportedly suffered a booking system meltdown that wiped out confirmed reservations. This is outrageous, said Henrik Müller of ZDF, a German network. We've had our reservations for half a year. Now they claim the rooms never existed. Hotel management declined comment, but sources blamed a faulty automated booking system that failed during final week updates. Further down, past the guest quotes and legal threats, was one small paragraph that stood out. The failure follows the recent replacement of long-serving general manager Calvin Rhodes by Trevor Sims, a younger executive hired under a cost-saving plan. My phone rang. Mason again. This time, I picked up. What do you want? Have you read the article? Just finished it. This is a catastrophe. UFA's about to drop us. Corporates flying in. My job's on the line. I'm sorry to hear that. You're not sorry. You planned this. I set down my coffee. Mason, let me make something clear. I didn't plan a thing. I created a workaround for your broken system because you wouldn't fix it. When you fired me, the workaround stopped working. That's not sabotage. That's just reality. You could have warned us. I did warn you for a year and a half. You told me to make it work. I mean Trevor specifically. You should have told him about your scripts. He never asked. He was too busy proving how fast he could adapt. A pause. Background chatter, probably the execs from Atlanta, asking what the hell happened. What's it going to take? Mason asked. What do you mean? To fix this? To come back? I looked at the garden plot I'd been prepping out back. I'd planned to plant vegetables. Straightforward work. Clear process. Predictable outcome. I'm not coming back, Mason. Name your price. It's not about money. You made it clear my experience didn't matter, that someone younger and cheaper could do my job. Let him do it. Trevor quit this morning. That caught me off guard. He quit? Walked out at 7 a.m. Said he was drowning. I almost felt bad for the kid. Almost. Then find another fast learner. Calvin, I'm serious. Total authority. Pay bump. Guaranteed security. For how long until the next budget cut? No reply. He called again Sunday with a new proposal. Consulting. 6-month contract. Remote work. Triple my old pay. I was on my porch with a book in my lap. Remote from where? I asked. Anywhere. Your choice. And what exactly am I consulting on? System stabilization, crisis response, staff training, whatever you deem necessary. Triple the salary? That could buy a cottage in the Caribbean and a true retirement. Send the terms. So you'll consider it? I'll read it. 2 hours later, the contract arrived. 6 months. Renewable. Pay up front. Full autonomy for system and staff. Physical presence not required, except for quarterly reviews. It was generous. Almost suspiciously so. I called Elena. How bad is it? Still housing guests in the conference rooms. Corporate brought in a disaster team. They're rebuilding the entire reservation system manually. How long? At least 2 weeks. But Calvin, that's not the worst of it. What do you mean? Words out. We lost 3 of our biggest corporate clients. 2 weddings canceled. No one trusts us. I had a feeling. The hospitality world was tight. Agents, planners, travel managers, they all talked. What's the damage? Mason told corporate it could top $2 million in losses, plus UFA penalties. $2 million. The same amount they hoped to save by replacing me. Elena, if I were to fix this from afar, what would you need most? Someone who knows the entire system, not just tech. Relationships. Our VIPs are calling for you. They trust you. That gave me an idea. I spent the rest of Sunday making quiet calls. Agents, planners, executives. The verdict was clear. Royal Vista was toxic. No one wanted to touch it. But there was a caveat. If Calvin Rhodes personally guarantees the service, one planner told me, we might consider coming back. Monday morning, I called Mason. I'll take the contract with some changes. What kind of changes? First, I work outside Florida. I'm thinking Barbados. Fine. Second, all client contact goes through me, not corporate, not the GM me. That's unusual, but okay. Third, I have hiring authority for the next GM. No more 28-year-old MBAs. Pause. That could be tricky. Then keep cleaning up your own mess. How soon can you start? I checked my empty calendar. Dentist appointment Thursday. Next Monday, from Barbados. Barbados? I think it'll improve my consulting clarity. 2 days later, I was booking flights and beachside rentals for the first time in years, excited to work again. Only this time, I set the rules. 3 months later, I was sipping coffee on a terrace overlooking the sea. The Miami property had stabilized. My remote monitoring system worked flawlessly. Staff morale was back. Bookings were nearly normal. But the real win? An email from corporate. Mason Clark had been terminated. It came from the regional VP, an apology for past decisions, and a renewed commitment to experienced leadership. They offered me Mason's job, regional director. I read the offer twice. Then I deleted it. An hour later, the phone rang. Calvin, it's James Morrison. Did you see our email? I did. We'd love for you to return in a leadership role. Your consulting work has been outstanding. Thanks, but I'm not interested. Can I ask why? The package is significant. I gazed out at the ocean. A small fishing boat drifted across the horizon. That captain probably knew the waters better than anyone, knew where to go, when to cast, how to wait. James, I spent 9 years building your Miami brand. You thought I was too expensive and almost ruined it in one weekend. Now you want me to save the entire region. We've learned from that. Have you? Or are you just afraid of the next collapse? So nothing could bring you back? Nothing. I'm where I'm supposed to be. I hung up and opened a real estate app. A listing popped up. 28-room beachfront hotel, Barbados. Owner retiring. With my consulting pay, it was doable. 6 months later, I owned the Sunset Bay Hotel. 15 staff, all locals, all experienced. No execs. No budget hacks. No higher-ups telling me how to do my job. One afternoon, while reviewing bookings, the phone rang. Elena. Calvin, I've got news. Good or bad? Good. We're full again. Champions League is old news. And we finally hired a solid GM. That's great. One more thing. Mason applied at Marriott in Orlando. They called me. I told them the truth. What'd they say? They thanked me, then said they'd found someone else. I chuckled. Hospitality is a small world. News gets around. Elena, mind if I ask something? Of course. Do you ever miss the chaos? She laughed. Not one bit. Boring is beautiful. That night, I strolled the beach behind my hotel. 3 guests dined on the terrace, a Canadian couple celebrating their anniversary. I'd arranged lobster from a local fisherman and champagne from my cellar. Simple. Honest. No red tape. My phone buzzed. A text from Julia. Saw the travel plus leisure piece. Your hotel looks amazing. Mom would be proud. I looked back at the glow of my little property. 28 rooms. Every one of them mattered. Every guest was mine. I'd spent 9 years building someone else's empire. Now I was finally living in my own.